Get it on time.
W235 BS Birmingham, WATB Birmingham, Courtney French Broadcasting Company. We are B94.9 WATV. And from now on, the B has a new meaning. What is that?
Guess who wrote this?
Be the voice.
Check it out.
Be the vote.
I said we vote on it. Well, you only get one vote.
Make the right choice. Be the vision.
Let's see what you got.
Be vital. Man, we all we got. Be the V. B94.9 WATV.
So now you can set one right here.
We on the war tour, lady. We got the plan. Going out to every place with a mic in our hand. We on the war tour, lady. We got the plan.
And
Going
then
out to
we'll
every
take the
place
other ones
with a
out.
mic in our hand. Hey, this is exactly what the city releasing. Let's get them jumping and twisting. Thinking and reminiscing. I'm hoping you comprehending this is vital. And lady, use your hope. You ain't gonna find another like I'm supposed to do and keep the conversation vital. Hold up. You can't deny it, no sir. I know ma'am. It's like throwing rocks in the train. We ain't gonna never slow down. The poor is heavy. And yes, I mean, we put it down, spread love. We got enough to go around. It's politics is usually way out here in the city. Let's talk about what matters, but still keep it real. Tell them how the people feeling. Exercise your First Amendment. Freedom to speak your mind regardless of religion. Your opinion is your opinion. I ain't arguing with you. Maybe I am a winner, number one, and I am. I switch it up. Now watch me work when I get bitch, she picks it up. And she don't know a couple jewels, just enough. We on the one tour, lady, we got the plan. Going out to every place with a mic in our hands. We on the one tour, lady, we got the plan. Going out to every place with a mic in our hands.
B94.9 WATV. Welcome to the show. Happy Sunday to each and every one of you. This is the first Sunday in February, Black History Month. 100 years of celebration, commemoration of Black history. So we'll be talking about that this evening. We will be talking about you, whoever you are, whatever you got going on. We'll be talking about us, all the things that are in the news locally, nationally. Any stories? See, this is why we ain't gonna get no Grammys and Oscars. Anything that has been happening in the world, we're gonna talk about it because we've been gone for a minute. We started off, and then I thought Snowmageddon was coming back, and that did not happen at all. So we didn't come last week, but we're back today. How have you all been?
I've been good.
Okay, that's good.
Same show, new episode again. Getting into the swing of the new year.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, as you know, I can still say Happy New Year until March. So Happy New Year, Eddie. Attorney Kristen French, how have you been?
I have been great. I had a very busy week. I traveled for work, had work conferences.
Were you really working?
Of course, I was working.
You know, people go on these work trips.
I learned a whole lot.
Don't work.
No.
Okay. Okay.
No, I worked and I learned a whole lot at the conferences.
Mm-hmm.
Attended everything, got my CLE credits in, so shouldn't need any more of those for until probably like 2 years.
I feel I got to do the same thing. I got to get some CEUs because 2 years is about to approach in July.
Mm-hmm.
I got to get to work. All right then. Well, welcome back, Doctor, Reverend Doctor J. Hat. How have you been?
Man, good, great, lovely.
Awesome. Okay. Anything exciting? Just good, great, and lovely.
Man, we've been
So
out of
much.
school.
I can understand. Totally can understand. Sister Marshall, how about yourself?
I've been doing better. You know, it's a new year, new me, it feels like. So I'm just feeling very blessed and thankful to be here.
Well, amen. Awesome. Okay. So, being black. Let's start there. I've been black every day since 1984. Born to two black people, and their people were black, and so on and so forth. There were some whites up in there too, though. But the melanin won, so I consider myself an African American woman, and because of that, I celebrate my blackness every day. I'm excited about what being black consists of, the dopeness of it, the variety of what I can do, where just all of that. Everything about being black is amazing. And if you all know, Black History Month started off as Black History Week 100 years ago. as Black History Week. Did you all know that?
Yes.
All right, so here we are. Yeah, see, Black history being taught right now. It started as a week. Uh, Dr. Carter G. Woodson was like, "We got to celebrate us. We have to honor us. We're gonna take a week and do it." Became a federal observation. Whenever that happened, I can't remember when that happened exactly. But do you feel like you are making Black history every day?
I think so. Just by existing, just by being aware of our surroundings and our environment, by trying to do better by the next generation,
Yeah.
by trying to understand our elders, but also correct some of the stuff that they might have been, operating under duress of white supremacy or, just unaware. I think all of those things are acts of Black history.
Yeah, for sure. Making history every day. Attorney Kristen
Yeah.
French, how you making history?
I mean, I think I'm living a dream. Like, just by existing when I wake up in the morning, I'm a Black female attorney in a very much so Caucasian dominated world, male dominated world. So navigating my way around that area, I think every day, making Black history.
All right.
Yep.
Brother Hat.
Uh, well, I teach it. I live it. It's what I do. Try to put people on game. So, um, U.S. history, American history is Black history.
Yes.
There is no American history without Black history. I don't separate them. I let the kids know every day.
All right.
I think I do that by just simply showing up and like being myself, like not shying away from who I am. I went to a predominantly white middle school and high school, so it took me some time once I got to college to kind of like get away from that and like understand the roots of who I am and like where I come from. So now it's like I'm very proud to be me. I'm proud to be Black. I really wouldn't have it any other way. It's so much diversity when it comes to us. And it's like a shared experience across the nation, across it's like global for real. It's Black people everywhere, but like there's all things that we can relate to just by simply being Black. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, for me, like I said, every day, even the way just everything about me is just so amazing because it's so Black. Like I've been working on this piece called Souls and Shells. So like my soul in this Black shell, I don't know what that would be like in an Asian shell, in a Caucasian shell, in a I'm in this brown sexy shell. You feel me? But seriously, the contributions that we give today will one day be history. Her story, his story. We are telling our stories and writing it every day. So just be mindful of making sure that you are making some meaningful, vital contributions to society every day. Everything that you do should be done with the idea that, like, I'm living my dash, but this dash will soon, at some point will be history. What will the children know about me? What will the next generation be able to say that I did and contributed, taught them, showed them? It's so many people in between us and Dr. King, y'all. And we talk about 5 of them. My parents made history. My grandparents, whatever it is, somebody has made some type of monumental impact, some kind of way in your life. Somebody else everybody's making history every day. So be mindful of that. Anybody want to say anything else about that before we move on? Just want to bring you in.
Yeah, man. I want to shout out a gentle giant in this city. I am a blessed pastor to pastor the first African American to serve in the United States Congress from Alabama.
Okay. Yeah, where the bell? Just ring the bell. Ding ding. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Well,
What's his name?
it's all God. His name is Earl Hilliard.
And that's historical. A lot of people don't know, like, even right now, you have a generation, I guess generations right after ours, that have no clue who a lot of the people that are still living, who they are. They're still right here, still living, still serving, and people don't even know who they are.
Right.
Does he speak and talk about what he did and what he does?
Not in church, but I pick his brain every chance I get.
He's not going to speak this month for Black History Month? In church?
No. They
Probably
celebrated
should.
him about 3 years ago. But he tries to, he's humble like that. He's He's not going to want to.
We'll get an interview.
But
All
he-
righty.
Okay, that'll be great.
Yeah.
Like I
It'll
said,
be-
just picking his
know.
brain, man, is a wealth of wisdom there.
All right. Black History every day, 365. We are black, but the month of February, a special recognition, special shine on the melanated brothers and sisters all across the world and our contributions and our struggles and our strains, but then our resilience and what we are putting in place right now. Black and brown people are being targeted all over the world, but not just black and brown people, white people too, y'all.
Yeah.
The white people, they get in the business from ICE. And these are not immigrants. These are American citizens. On Tuesday, right here on the show, well, not on this show, but on my day show, our DA, our district attorney, Danny Carr, will come in just to kind of talk about what your rights are. I said, I want to talk to you because you're the one that can arrest judges and stuff. I don't need to talk to them. I want to talk to you. And he was like, yeah, let's do it. So we're going to talk Tuesday because apparently a lot of people who think they know their rights are exercising their rights, but then they're being penalized and punished and harassed and bullied for exercising their rights, like the First Amendment rights, the right to protest, the right to all that, because the president allows it. Basically, the whole tone that has been set allows people to be bullied. Are y'all watching the news? Keeping up with what's happening?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Facts.
Are you scared?
No,
No.
All right.
no.
Somebody said it ain't our problem. What? This this ain't got nothing to do with us.
It's everybody.
It
Like, this is single-handedly affecting everyone. Just because it's not happening currently, like in Birmingham or like wherever you live, that doesn't mean it can't and it won't. I'm pretty sure at some point in Minnesota, people are like, "Oh, who thinks about Minnesota?" But now, like, they're the number one headline. So don't think that it won't happen to you. It could only be a matter of time.
Oh no, they're here. They're here. They're in Hoover. It was a lady. I don't know if you saw that video where
I saw it.
it. Did the girl look young to you? Maybe like a teenager.
Yeah, she looked young.
She was definitely like a teenager, and ICE was picking her up, but it was a Caucasian lady that was filming it,
Mm.
and they were very hostile with her, like, get back in your car. She was like, sweetheart, is there anyone that I can call for you? I couldn't hear the girl's response, but she just wanted to be able to call and let her family know like what's going on. They were very much taking her, and they were not like cars that were identifiable. They looked like our cars. They had like Mississippi plate, Maryland plate or something. It was Texas plate. Like it was just different plates, like regular cars.
Yeah.
And these grown men just taking her. He was like, she's fine. She has her phone. She can call.
No.
It was crazy. Yeah.
So I hadn't seen that either.
Yeah, they just got in the car and drove off with her. They were in Hoover.
I will say this. I mean, ICE is not new. You know, a lot of people feel like it's something that Donald Trump put together himself. Like, let me get some races and make them a force. No, that's not how it went. Immigration control enforcement, whatever ICE stand for, it's not new. However, the energy of ICE is very much like old school slave chasing type.
That's exactly what the vibe is.
Because my daughter wants to go into criminal justice, criminology, and she was asking, how you even work for ICE? What's the pitch? When I was in DC, I saw the advertisement saying, hey, if you're interested in serving your nation, you apply here. So that's the only place I've ever seen any type of advertisement about working for ICE. Have y'all seen or heard anything?
You know, it's funny how like right before ICE ramped up with Trump and everything, what we were seeing was a whole bunch of Proud Boys coming into cities on them bridges, rolling down signs and stuff, getting confronted. But they all gone now. So what I imagine is that
They're all ICE now.
I imagine that there's an internal recruitment process between all of them, January Sixers, the Proud Boys, neo-Nazis. I imagine a bunch of those groups are in there. Incels, because you know, killing of Renee Good comes off as a man that hated women doing that, you know, more so than anything, or maybe even hated that a woman was with another woman
Yeah.
in that situation. So also there's a reporter that applied for ICE, and it's such a lackluster process. It's like they're doing investigations on how you become an employee for ICE, and it's just a very simple process that lets a whole bunch of people in.
So not previous or current law enforcement. You don't need to go through. Wait, Can we find
USA
that, please?
USAjobs.gov.
Cannot be.
Basic job.
Ain't no training. There's no conflict resolution training. There's no firearm safety training. There's no y'all got to tell me. I just don't believe that. Shouts out to everybody who got that message earlier today. Where I said what's the criteria?
All right, the requirements: applicants must be U.S. citizens. The hiring process includes a medical exam, drug screening, and a physical fitness test.
Police.
No, it's more to this. It's
Police.
got to be more.
Police test.
No, the lady,
Damn.
if I can find this, I'll send it to y'all. The lady who applied to be in ICE was accepted as an employee to ICE without doing any of that stuff. So the question about it became, are they really actually screening for drugs for people? Because she got approval letter, and not to mention she had messed up on several parts of the process where she missed the emails and didn't reply in enough time, but still replied, even though it said the application will be canceled if you didn't reply in this time. She replied, and then they still accepted her to the next step. And that just kept happening. And then at a certain point, she just gave up on it. And then she got an email that said here's like in whatever the beginning that you have to do to enroll into it. And it's like, so it raised a lot of questions. This person that was passively involved in the process, who missed a bunch of deadlines, who missed all these screenings, at the end of the day still got an enrollment application to become a member of ICE.
If you want to work for ICE and you want to break up the monotony of the system, USAjobs.gov is just as simple as that. That's crazy. And they have the pitch once you get in for orientation is to get out in the streets and you can get away with whatever as long as you cause some confusion. So Tony said Birmingham is not the place for that. Do you all really feel like people would respond in a way that would push them out? Trump said he's not removing them from Minnesota, and I still don't know why they're there. Like why they're there like that. Or either why they're there and it's so loud. Like, is there an immigrant community that large? I just don't understand a lot of the things about where they are. If you want to see where illegal immigrants are, go to the border, work on the border. Go there, just stay there.
I think it's several things. I think it's his little beef with Ilhan Omar as a Somali American and Minnesota having one of the biggest Somali populations there. Also, his retaliation on Democratic states, and then Tim Walz. I mean, all of this stuff paired together is like, who do I target next for how to show these Democratic states that, we can pull rank out here?
All right. 9948949 is the number. Want to hear from you all on what you think about what's happening, what it looks like for you as you live as an American in wherever you are. Like we've talked before about how you can appear to be from somewhere else, or to, you may sound different. And if somebody wants to pull your card, they can. Some people were arrested. Some Native American people were arrested. Can't remember where, by some people, y'all. They said federal agents, but there was no proof of who they were, but they detained them. We don't even know who's arresting people. So you could vanish today. You could be arrested today and vanish because nobody knows who arrested you. They were able to get out some kind of way, but they do not know who the arresting officers were, and they may not have even been real officers. So how are you all functioning? And I know how you functioning because y'all function like this anyway. Like ain't nothing going on, and it'll never happen to you, and it won't be here. And then when it does, I'll be in an uproar and be crazy and crying. But until then, I'm chilling. That's how we act. So I shouldn't have even asked that question. Very apathetic and lackadaisical. I knew that. I shouldn't have asked that. I was giving you guys credit for being proactive. 994-8949 is the number. If I'm not talking about you, the phone lines are open because I just wonder what that's like. Like I'm very cautious and always watching, but I'm not nervous. I'm not scared. I'm not afraid. I have a license, a passport, a birth certificate, and grab me. I'm calling my attorney, Kristen French. All right.
I'm coming down with the gang.
Hey,
so
take my phone. I'm screaming to the rafters.
I'm coming down with the team.
Like,
Gang.
well, who was it that arrested you? I don't know. They were in a van with because you said they cars in a van with with a Mississippi tag. Man,
They were cars. They look like regular cars like ours. Is what I'm saying. Like we don't know who took that girl, but she did record their license plates, and the video is out there. So I don't know. It was wild to know that it was just right over in Hoover.
And they've been over in Hoover, Homewood for years because of the Hispanic population, Mexican population. So ICE is not new, but now because of the energy of this administration, it's ramped up. But then you talk what else nationally, Eddie? Because I got some big stuff I want to talk about here. We've missed a lot. The think tank then took over all the damn topics because we haven't been on the air. So,
clearly Alex Pretty died or was killed by ICE. We got the Senate currently voting up against the funding package. So looking at maybe another government shutdown.
Shut it down.
Luigi Mangione, they done took the death penalty off of that for him. America done signed some shady oil industries to that Venezuelan oil. Ilhan Omar was attacked by a man with a syringe. So I'm sure that rhetoric from the president got something to do with that. Nurses strike in New York still ramped up. It looked like it might be about to come to an end, but that's what's going over. TikTok taken over by the U.S. at this point as of January 22nd.
Yeah. Not only our girl was attacked with a hijab on, but a young man, a brown brother that is a political figure was attacked as well.
Don Lemon
was arrested too. I wasn't even talking about him.
That's why
he was arrested as an independent journalist, and I often consider myself an independent journalist. I go cover some stuff, and I'm covering it. I wish you might come arrest me because you mad because I have talked about you. That's why I try to stay neutral. But still, golly, it's so many questions. Where do we start? Where y'all want to start?
Okay, first of all, I just simply wonder, is there any way that we could put a stop to some of this stuff? And then also, it's if it got to a point, could we end up in concentration camps? What would that look like in today's time? I've been thinking about that because back then, I can't remember exactly what years they were going through that in Germany, but times have changed significantly. We got famous people here. Where would everybody go? Where would they put us? How would that happen? Would it be everybody or just a specific race? What does that look like? And what are the odds of that happening?
See, that's what I'm talking about. Let me find you some applause because it's the young people who will lead us. Because everybody else I'm telling you, I guess they're just waiting to get picked up in a paddy wagon and put in a concentration camp. I don't know what that would look like, but that's something that I think about things like that. You could be in your bed, sleep, thinking that all is well. And now, get up, we going. Going well. And with who? And for what? I'm a citizen. And illegal, yes, but when the Holocaust and stuff, and when slavery, ain't all that illegal?
Well, Holocaust was Germany, World War II.
It was wrong and illegal, right?
And at the same time, you have civil rights here in America, so that they kind of overlap. That group of people, you can't really say much because you'll get slammed. However, since we do teach real Black history, that's not the real folks. Yeah. So I'm gonna leave it at that. The real Jews are not the ones who was in concentration camps.
But that's them. But the same idea of what happened and how they got there.
It's Hitler-like. You control the media.
Check.
You silence anybody that is counter your claim. You control output. You slowly control government functioning. And you start squeezing down on anybody else. So with ICE and agencies like that, everybody's doing the biddings of that one, right? And that's how Hitler got the power. Yeah, he was elected official. Then he went sour. So, yeah, it's definitely giving that type of vibe, though.
And they put all us in some numbers and shave all our hair off and put us in some crates or some cellars, and that would be the end of it.
And see, here's the thing. This fight is not about us. I say that because the target that they're after is the labor target. and so that's one population. Not talking
mean,
about us.
But you killed.
they not, but I think that a lot of stuff is precedent. Like they're setting the precedent for how much do we have to listen to a judge? How long can we not pay attention to a lawful order that we've been given by a court? You know, how far can we push these metrics of the Constitution? How far can we go doing what we want to do without getting the Senate involved?
Mm-hmm.
How much can we hold the people hostage through these government shutdowns? That like they testing all of these measures, so they know how far they can push when they do want to go target another group. Like the template is already being set up, and it's just this is the easiest group of people to go after because we can identify a group of them as illegal on paper, and we can say that we going after the criminal illegal, but without knowing, if you just see a Latino group across the street, ICE is just running up on them like y'all might be criminals and y'all might be illegal citizens. And that's how people who are American citizens are getting caught up in that, because at a certain point, when you don't, unless you making people walk around with their papers and pulling out some verified government document that says this, I'm good. The only thing they got to use is their eyes, and the eyes of Nazis is always going to be shaded by race. They racist
Racism.
predispositions.
For sure. So just the shell. I just see what I see. We talk about it every time we get into this conversation. You could be a Kenyan, Ethiopian, Sudan,
I'm Dominican.
Dominican.
Yeah.
Get in the van.
Yeah.
And then, well, I need to show you my license. I'm a natural born citizen, but now I've already been traumatized. You can rough me up. If I try to fight back, you pull out a gun and shoot me 10 times.
And people have done that. People have pulled out they documents and saying I'm an American citizen, but I think the core of them believe that ID is fake. I used to work at Chewy's. I know where to get a fake ID from that look like everything you're supposed to have here.
I need to get one for somebody.
I just imagine that ICE has been fed that, well, if somebody look Latino and you see your ID, it's probably fake.
Mhm.
Still pick them up. They got to be being fed that. Not to mention, none of them have been put through the level of training that police officers have. They have not committed to the ideas of rules of engagement as the military has. There's been no filtering process to determine if these people are like racist or problematic. It don't look like they filtering for those histories of violence, histories of substance use. And so they got people out here who are already aggressive, and this is what we're seeing.
All right.
We're seeing these dudes that are overly aggressive.
If you think about it in a large history context, it's always been a group. Indians,
like the targeted group.
Yeah, Indians or natives, primitive peoples, our indigenous brothers, then us, then immigrants. So this is not the first slash at immigrants, because the immigrant slash was from certain parts of Europe, the poor parts of Europe. So now is Hispanics, and you always find that marginalized community that is in the minority that doesn't really have the voice and the resources to fight.
Really?
Right?
Okay, I want to talk about that.
Yeah.
You said that you always find that group of people in what?
The marginalized minority.
The marginalized minority. And I know like a lot of times people that may have that may partake in any type of substances, honestly, like have to cope. And sometimes you smoke to cope. I want to talk about House Bill 72,
Oof.
Marijuana exposure in Alabama, which will target, who did you just say?
That group is targeting, in my opinion, Black and brown people.
Yeah. Okay. Mandatory reporting. Teachers and other mandatory reporters must notify the Department of Human Resources if a child smells of marijuana smoke. Investigation. DHR must investigate these reports similar to child abuse or neglect cases. Penalties. Smoking marijuana in a vehicle with a child present becomes a Class A misdemeanor, requiring attendance at a state-mandated education course on drug dangers. We'll share more so you can read up on it, but let's just tap in. So a Democratic representative put that up, and everybody immediately felt like you're talking about young Black parents or, basically. And I was like, well, yeah, I kind of can see why. Like, why would I be hotboxing with the churn in the car. First of all, like why am I doing that?
Well, what data do we have to suggest that's happening in big enough numbers for legislation? That's why that's what I've been asking about. All this legislation being passed, whether it's the cell phones being taken out of the school, all of this stuff. What does the data suggest is happening for you to say that? Otherwise, you're just using stereotypes to assume that poor parents and irresponsible parents and parents that smoke weed and have kids are like just smoking in the car with their kids on the way to school. Like where that data coming from? And what do you want the outcome to be? Because otherwise, this legislation is going to be used inappropriately.
Right, absolutely.
And that's my argument. Yep.
Absolutely.
And so it's just the smell of it. Because what about the kids and the parents that's snorting lines off the table? You can't tell.
No, we're not worried about
what
them.
happened to them.
It's okay. They can do that.
And what training are teachers going through to know exactly what marijuana smell like? Because I done smell some musty ass marijuana. So how we know this little musty kid ain't just finna get confused for a kid that been smoking blunts in the car?
And not only that, as a teacher, baby, I'm gonna report some other stuff. You smell your book bag smelling like a little weed, but you coming in here making A's and smiling and happy and life is great. It's so many other things you could have talked about. Y'all could have made I want some legislation about trucks that have rocks and stuff on the back of them being covered so that my windshield won't get cracked.
Exactly.
Give me something that makes sense. They need a fine for that.
Yeah.
You know what I believe this legislation is going to be the most harmful if it's heavily enforced, because I do think that a big part of this is pushing for paying for these prisons as much as they possibly can. I think this is going to be a problem with like 18-year-olds who still hang out with 16 and 17-year-olds.
Yeah, because it's 19.
And they all, or late teens hanging out with like still younger brothers and siblings and other kids that smoke. I think they're just going to use this to criminalize those 18, 19, 20-year-olds while hanging around kids that do the same behaviors. Like, it's another way to do this. And aggressive police are going to arrest those 18, 19, 20-year-olds, and then they're going to call DHR on them other young kids that was in the car to leave parents with an issue to deal with that don't even got nothing to do with them. I think that's where it's going to create a problem.
Now, the angle of the bill is for school. That's the angle. So, random stops, they already do that. They smell weed, they're going to automatically start dumping you out your car and dumping your car and searching your car. That's most officers, right? That's already a given. We're talking about students that come to school smelling like marijuana. And so, in my opinion, Eddie, like 18, 17, 16, anybody driving a car, they smoking. The majority of our kids are smoking. Period. Point blank.
But I ain't smoking.
But I ain't.
I didn't smoke in the car.
Right, and so that's the problem. Like, do you?
I need to sit down and smoke. That's the whole purpose. So I can sit down somewhere and focus.
Yeah, even in middle school, they get off the bus and they walk down to the little cut.
Yeah,
and blow one.
It ain't that new about it. So like real talk. You have to have real conversations about real issues. Nothing came to the people about this before. Like, why are you pushing? Let's be direct. Patrick Sellers, if you're listening to the show, give us a call, 994-8949. Where did this come from? Somebody sent something earlier. Let me send it. I want us to read that just to kind of get into the reasoning behind it. I mean, because in short, we just talked about the bill. That's it.
Yeah. And I mean, in the bill, if you actually pull up the actual legislation, it references the code for smoking tobacco in the car.
Mm-hmm.
And
secondhand smoke.
Yeah. So, we teach it, we analyzed it. And so the very first thing my scholar said is, well, what's the research on secondhand marijuana smoke? Because how it's going to be medically promoted and it's harmful at the same time.
It's just a bad example. You shouldn't smoke in front of your children.
They go on that rabbit hole right there, and it's very little. When I say very little, there's very little research that says secondhand marijuana smoke has the risk. All of the research used the word could, can, potentially. Like, there's not solid evidence to say weed is causing brain development, health development, lung cancers, and it's just not there.
Okay. I'm looking forward. They say the official record of the local House representatives to vote on House Bill 72. Datcher was absent. Van didn't vote. Hollis didn't vote. Hendricks was absent. Moore said no. Tillman was absent. Sellers said yes. And Rafferty was absent. So the lone voter, which is also the representative that presented the bill, and I do want logic behind it. Like, do you all feel that parents who drink and smoke or partake in any type of anything else, any type of vice or whatever, are harming their children in a way that should be compared to child abuse and neglect?
I feel like if when they partake in those substances and then they decide to be abusive to their children, yes. But like if they're keeping it away from their kids and then like it's not an issue and the kids can't tell like, oh, when he starts sipping on that, he start acting this way. I think it's okay as long as you're taking care of your kids properly.
Okay.
It's a parenting issue. Let's just call it what it is. This is a parenting issue, and we do have some bad parenting.
Okay.
Like let's keep it all a book. You know, I get the intent. We do have children that come to school smelling like that. Is it enough of them? No. Those are the real facts, right? We do. But hell, we go down here to the Chevron and hit to the light. They're gonna smell like it too, and it's gonna come through my car,
Yes.
right? Because it's coming through the
Yes.
vents. I'm sure everybody has experienced that. You're at the red light and you're like, ooh, they got that loud.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's in your car too.
Hot box. Childhood trauma. Like I think about that aspect of it as a mental health professional, and just about how we remember things that we saw our village doing. Like I remember, a Friday fish fry, and they may be smoking. Everybody was smoking cigarettes, and I'm coughing. Then like my parents didn't smoke, but we are all together with the family, and they smoking, and I'm here. That didn't traumatize me. But if my parents or my grandparents or my aunts and uncles hot boxing in the car with me, and I really don't have a choice, or my mama tipsy and she come pick me up after she come from wherever she from, and we go home and she's swerving, and I really can't help. Like I don't know. I'm wondering if that much thought was put into it.
Well, we have the data to suggest what alcohol does to driving and how much it impairs driving. Like we have enough data to suggest that a level of danger with that.
Okay.
But this would be a federal thing if there was enough data to suggest that a parent that might have smoked weed before they got in the car or while they was in the car is creating some level of harm. This is not coming from data. So when it don't come from data, where is it coming from? If it's about harming the children, the evidence that we have for what secondhand cigarette smoke do,
Yeah.
why this don't extend to people who smoking cigarettes? Because them kids' lungs finna be tore up for a little bit until they get out of that environment.
I think that is one of the. It is marijuana smoke, but cigar smell or tobacco smoke as well. However, I remember children that smelled like cigarettes in school, and yes, like this is what they smell like. And I'm wondering what the premise of the long-term effect is. So hopefully you all are researching that on that side to see what brought this about. Also in Birmingham, while all of these major things are happening around the rest of the world, a phone call was leaked. We weren't on air. I think that was leaked.
Yeah.
Yeah, the show that we missed, right? And TITTIES. You hear me?
Stop it.
Randall. Now, I don't look. The call was leaked. AL.com leaked the thing. I don't know what y'all want to say. What you want to talk about?
I'm gonna come back to that, but just got some intel. A is abstain. Datcher passed on it, and Hendricks abstained, so he was there.
Absent.
And there's
Get your
nothing,
facts together.
and there's nothing in the legislation about cigar smoke. It's literally exclusively marijuana.
Yeah, it's
Marijuana,
it talks
vaping
about
marijuana.
It talks about the code for cigarettes.
In HB 72, well, in HB 72 as it is.
Yeah.
If it's something else, then if it's something else outside of this, I don't know what it is, but this is just using language about smelling like marijuana smoke.
Yeah.
One spray, blunt power used to be the thing.
Used to be.
Like folks like to smell like weed. Now they like to.
Yes.
I like to pull up and smell like that. I don't want to smell like these nice, expensive fragrances that y'all be smelling like. I want to smell like weed. So I mean, yeah, if that's the case, It's a waste of. I don't know.
I'm wondering why a Democratic senator would be bringing this up. That's my
Yeah.
thing. I mean, I would understand if a Republican senator bring this up. They always trying to bring up stuff that's going, give the police a little bit more leverage to do something. I don't understand what a Democratic senator's
At
purpose
the
for this would
hood.
be.
What is you? So okay, what is the bigger issue here? The children smelling like marijuana when they come to school, or the premise of the bill, or who proposed it, who supported it?
What harm does a kid coming to school smell like marijuana do?
It's a distraction to the other students, Eddie. It's messing up my classroom etiquette.
Are they smelling like that all day long? Because I mean, that weed smell don't. I mean, when you get out the car, okay, it lasts. How long do it last? Unless they got a
We
nug
was
in their
hot
pocket.
boxing.
Unless they got a nug in their pocket.
I feel like, well, what age are we talking about?
And
Because,
that's
like,
the
when
other
I was a
thing.
kid, I didn't
Yeah.
know what like weed smelled like at all. I only knew cigarettes, but that's because like my grandma used to smoke cigarettes. But if you're not around those smells ever, you don't recognize it. So it can't necessarily, like, you could think maybe as a kid like, oh, they stink, but like you can't necessarily like put a definition to what you're smelling because you don't know yet if
And
you're
that's
not
the problem.
exposed to it.
Yeah.
Mm.
It lingers a little bit,
Yeah.
right? All of it lingers. Smoke
You
is
get
smoke.
out
'Cause,
of,
I mean, you
get out
can
of a meth lab and
Smoke
come
is
in the
smoke.
classroom.
all of it
Well, I mean,
smells.
one of them 1970s joints is different than one of them purple moon rock,
Loud.
purple moon rock blunts that they be smoking that they
Enjoy
made in a
book.
lab over 3 years.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
That perp, baby.
Yeah, like there is a difference
Presidential.
between those two. It's
George
like
Bush.
the kind of joint that granddaddy smoked
Ghetto.
ain't gonna have the same, lingering aroma as somebody who's smoking some moon rocks that they got from a little small town in California that only come up with that batch once every 2 months, which is what happens, So and again, I go back to what teachers are given the training that they need to smell something and know what they smelling. And then what do we do as far as when we talk about teachers and administrators having the freedom to assign disciplinary actions across a school, it always fall heavy on the black kids, even in the same circumstances.
Yep.
Like I work with kids right now that's in the school and they telling me about situations that's going on. And the only reason the white kids' names ain't never on no piece of paper is because their parents is donating money and they doing problematic stuff.
Yeah.
It's just the common person shouldn't be somebody who is the voice of authority about something that they have not trained and it's not their profession. And so we saying that teachers, along with all of the other stuff they got to do,
are gonna be the ones to make this move. Because if
Yeah.
I don't call, it doesn't move. Baby, come here, let me spray you for the other teachers tell. Principals probably should do that. But I don't know what does discretion look like when it comes to a child that may be being abused, clothes aren't being washed, like it may be neglect in that
Right.
situation. Okay, I can gauge that. But I would report neglect over that. I would just say, I sense that there are some other issues going on. We're mandated reporters. That's what I would
that's
do.
the issue. Now, the other issue for me is DHR already overworked. And you talk
And
about the
underserving.
efficacy of the treatment and the efficacy of services. They already caseload heavy. I mean, it's hard. They got the highest turnover, I believe, in state jobs as we speak right now. Like, so you're putting extra on the table. But the plan and purpose is what? Like, what's the end game here?
Arrest black families and break them up, but then the research does not suggest that these are just black families. So we don't know what it is. 994-8949. If you know, or if someone can call the people that wrote it.
It's like it's real easy to find stuff in society that is bad, right? So yes, a kid being in school, a kid smell like a parent hotboxing with a kid is bad. You shouldn't do that. Don't
let my
do that.
window down when I'm in here smoking. Leave my window up.
But within the black community, you got to measure that the level of bad with that against how harmful the powers that be will utilize that against a population that's already marginalized in those systems and are already treated differently when it comes to their white counterparts in them systems. And sometimes them kids gonna smoke before they go to school. What does that mean? Like when they older than like elementary age kids. That's why it is important what age the kids are. What age we talking about?
Well, the bill considers children up to 19.
So what does that mean about kids that's 17 and before they go into the school, they go out and smoking and they come inside?
What does that mean about me smoking my medicinal marijuana with my child who also needs medicinal marijuana? So we smoke together before I drop them off so they can behave in your classroom.
We don't have that here.
Oh, gosh, it's so illegal. So because it's illegal, why is this even a thing?
We don't have that here.
I don't want to talk about this anymore.
If you ask me, you know,
it's not even vital.
Bigger thing, because there are some companies that have secured some contracts in Alabama to distribute medicinal marijuana. I just think that the whole system is trying to create a wider gap between who they allow to do it versus how they will penalize you if you are participating in it outside of them saying that you can do it as this company. I just think to me, it's like somebody is pulling those strings to make that gap wider, to make the penalties for doing it higher than they have been otherwise. Because if we see the federal trajectory of marijuana going legal at some point, what's going on with these last few years in Alabama of trying to, reverse all of this stuff related to marijuana so staunchly? It's either to fill these jails up, it's either to make sure that the companies that's about to participate in this legal distribution, no competition, even people on the streets. That's just fishy to me.
So what you're saying is, I would propose a bill that doesn't make sense for the people that I represent to do something to help the people that I may need later on or something.
It's already fishy that a Democrat will put this kind of legislation out anyway. Democrats ain't usually at the forefront of restricting movement when it comes to legislation, unless they genuinely are advocates for the school and they are seeing it from a lens of if they sit in a room with teachers and the teachers are saying, "Oh, y'all should know how many of these kids come to school smelling like weed."
I don't have time for that.
If they're sitting there and they believe this to be advocacy for teachers, you're gonna have to advocate for that in a different way.
Yeah, and you got to pay me more too, because guess what, baby, go over there and I got a box of spray. We asked other parents to bring Bath and Body Works. We got baby powder. We got we got all that over there in a little box over in the corner over there with the other feminine products and little things that are deodorant that they may need sometimes. Which one you like, baby?
And see,
we gonna spray
if a parent is compromised enough for the driving to school while how to be a problem, then it's already a system for that. The police got to stop them.
Because it's illegal. Attorney Kristen French just said that, hey, this is not even really an issue because marijuana in Alabama is illegal anyway.
I'm seeing a correlation here.
Okay.
Y'all follow it down the rabbit hole. Here I go.
Change the music.
Birmingham City Schools just got off the failing list. This bill is going to target Birmingham City Schools, in my opinion. One of the pushes last year, and this came from the mayor, as well as the community partners, was attendance, making sure we have them. If we have them, we can teach them. And so looking at it now, there's a connection between this. When you get to arresting kids and having them go through all these extras and their parents, now you're going to affect the attendance. And you're going to affect the learning process and all of the progress we just made.
Why would you want to do that?
That's what I'm saying. There's too much to this to be a bad thing.
Well, you know what? To me, it sounds like this might get those kids a pass. I feel like instead of getting arrested, they just gonna say my ride was hotboxing, and that's why I smell like weed. And it's like now everybody that school called who not finna answer the phone, what does that turn into? Does it default the issues with the kids? Or is DHR finna get called who is overworked and underpaid, and they go out to that house and ain't nobody at that house smoking? And then is it like prolonged consequences? Because now they got to come back and say, okay, well, you lied to us. You must have been smoking because you're like, and that's not even a fast process. DHR can get called for a kid having two black eyes and they might not get out there for 2 weeks.
That part. And that's more what I'm thinking about. Anthony, in legal states, there are strict measures in place to protect children, whether enforced or not.
Yes.
So, okay. Like I said, the vitality of this, I just feel like it's really dragging our show out. Because I don't know that it really, I don't know. What are some bills that they could have taken? He could have done this one for us. What's something that you all think should be happening that's not happening?
Yeah.
They say bingo, lotto.
That's definitely how about teachers getting paid every 2 weeks?
Okay. I like that.
This instead of this once a month stuff, which was up in the House. Even with this bill, right? The age is the problem.
Up to 19.
Yeah. Come on back down to the elementary folks. Class A misdemeanor. That's a 1 year penalty in jail. That's the highest of the
So we take the
classification of
parents
it.
out the house.
So like it's the first time I'm going to you gonna slap me with a class A?
Yeah.
Like whoa.
Okay.
For smell. I don't even know if you can get that for a dime bag. I don't even know if they still do that these days. Because
Probably not. I think
yeah,
everything's
it's
like
probably
25.
everything $25, $35. But anyway, like I don't
That's
think that's a
wonderful.
class A. It's a way reach. And it's trying to hold parents accountable. I get it, but it's a better way.
All right, yeah. We're kind of
I'm off
talking
of
around a lot of things today. Just gonna, it's a lot. There's so much going on, so it's always a lot to talk about. But I'm just wondering if there's anything else that you all want to talk about for the final minutes of the show. Any points that maybe we did not address. Just kind of trying to figure out why this even makes it. Why? Tony Wilkins said, Peter Tosh, legalize it. That will end a lot of these issues.
yes.
Um,
24 states have legalized it.
I mean, Alabama, where can't even read.
40 of the
So why would we
50
be
has
trying
it
to-
as a medical pass.
Yeah, yeah.
We could at least do that.
And I think they said we're supposed to do it next year.
That's the hold up. So we get a new governor.
Ooh.
That's a thing at some point if y'all vote, but I don't know how that's gonna go because I don't know.
And Tuberville is in trouble.
And that's basically what brought about the whole phone call. I think that this election is gonna be moving people around. There have been announcements made. There's been confusion about who is getting people to run and all this. Like, what are you doing for self care? How are you unplugging in the midst of all of this? Because you talk about it all day, every day. That's why I don't talk about a lot of these things in the feng shui, because that's to set the energy and just let's just celebrate life. I'm gonna do more of that than I can any of this, because this is gonna do what it's gonna do. But how do you take care of yourself in the midst of all of these things? How do you keep your black looking so smooth? Okay, let's talk about it really quickly. What do you do?
Me, what I do is I consume media. I watch anime, which is the kind of stories I like to consume. I watch TV shows. I watch movies. I play games. I also work on a lot of projects. I do some 3D printing. I do some candle making. I do some hat making. I do some chocolate making. I do some baking. I cook. I create content.
Mhm.
I do a lot of stuff to remove myself from any given moment and put myself in somewhere else. And that's
Same.
intentional. It's one thing to just like do something else while the stuff you got going on your mind, but to find something where you can carve it out as a space where you don't have to think about the things outside of what you're experiencing. That's the key to self-care.
Yep.
It's not just doing something while the other stuff is on your mind. It's creating a space for yourself for that to not be on your mind for as long as you need it not to be, so that you can recover, refresh, and refill your cup so that you can pour as needed.
Thank you for that. What do I do? Or is that enough? Okay.
What I do the direct opposite. I go the other way from media.
Okay. Get me out of
I
here.
don't even want no parts of it.
Same.
Because it's too negative. I can't even do news in the first thing in the morning. I like to start my day off with positive vibes,
Yeah.
good energy. I catch up at maybe midday, check my phone, and then I check, the news. You got to do self care, and I think Eddie just hit on it.
Mhm.
Doing what makes you have fun, doing what brings you pleasure and joy. Leave everything you can't control outside and focus on what you can control.
Love it.
And let me add that when I say consume media, I don't mean negative media or harsh
Gotcha.
media. When I say
Gotcha.
anime, movies, TV, I mean something about a hero's journey, something about a character overcoming adversity. Like I watch stuff that like kind of like is more motivating as far as the journey goes. So that's the kind of media I consume. Then I consume the negative stuff all the time. I stay aware. But when I need to carve that space out of being in another frame of thinking, that's what I meant. Just to
Gotcha. Well, we on the same page.
Yeah, self-exploration is major for self-care. Like just really exploring yourself. What is it about me? What do I know? What do I do? Why do I do what I do? That's more important than anything, I think, for you to know who you are and why you do what you do. And I didn't know where that came from. Whatever. Self-exploration and travel is a lot of what I do. Before we get off of this, though, I want to talk about or acknowledge these comments. Keith Williams: Alabama needs another reason to put people in jail in order for corporations to continue to profit off the prison system. I'm going to say this to that comment. If that's the premise behind this, The writers, the orchestrators of the bill will never be respected as, political figures that represented the party well at all.
I will
It's
also
just
say,
that.
even if that wasn't the intention, but it happens to be something that can be utilized for that. So for the crafters of that bill, if your intention isn't that, but you can conceptualize how somebody could use it in that way, that also has to be considered.
Again, legal states have strict measures in place to protect children from being around weed smoke. They have the mandatory reporter laws that we're talking about. Yeah, we have those too. We always have. This just adds another layer to it. All right. Any other thoughts, feelings, comments, suggestions? I'm just getting us back in the groove of things. That's kind of long.
Yeah.
Let's see. Long. The prison system is a state of two cities. At the Prison Oversight Committee, they paint a picture of a perfect prison system with programs and services inmates find difficult to access, while the Oscar-nominated documentary tells the real story of what's happening in the prison system. Thank you for that, Keith. And that is true. It's a lot of work to do, a lot of work to be done. Get in where you fit in, make history. Black History Month is upon us. We got some major announcements coming up this month. You will meet the Vital Youth Crew this month. I'm telling y'all, that snowmageddon that we just had, that fake snow and that blizzard that we had, that we prepared for, and y'all bought all the bread and all the meat out of all this crazy. the storm that never came with only a few snow flurries last Sunday night that really didn't impact nothing. Knocked us off schedule. But we'll be back, okay? All right. I'll be back tomorrow with the Lady Woo's Midday Fun Show, a mood, music, and motivation Monday. Tonight, I'm probably finna be on the streets because every day's a celebration. Every night, too. I don't start classes back until March, so I'm outside. See me out there. I'll be out there. I'll save you a seat. What you want to say? I see you. I thought you want to say, where you going? I don't know.
No.
You don't want to go where I'm going?
It depends.
All
It's
right, Chris
cold.
Brown. You know you say
It's cold outside.
That's all. We outside. Y'all be vital.
Peace.
It's cold.
Bye, guys.
Hey.
We offline.
I think.
We off live.
Oh no.
No.
Some kids were like on them so bad that like they had their parents